Manchester United 2, Galatasaray 3 in a game that has shown us the levels at which we are as a club of Manchester United. And I've already told you that some players don't need to be here and they're holding that captain armband of Manchester United. And if you ask today, has Bruno Fernandes played like a captain of Manchester United today? The answer is no. The answer is no. First, in the first minute, Højlund goes in, makes a very good run, puts in a very good cross into the 18 box area, and Bruno Fernandes misses it out. Not that he obviously hit it, but he couldn't even hit that ball well to at least go to force a goalkeeper to make a save. And then later, all what he did was to put out blind passes. That is it. Even when they switched him to the central attack midfield position, he couldn't do or he couldn't make things happen. You saw him giving away the ball sloppily. He couldn't obviously do anything that midfield. And he brags to be the captain of Manchester United. The big question after all this game, where is Bruno Fernandes' leadership? Where does he really tell them that we conceded? So we scored the first goal in the 17th minute, and 6 minutes later we conceded, and then we get a lead in the 67th minute, and then 4 minutes later we obviously concede. Now, where is the leadership of Bruno Fernandes? Because this belongs to only one person. We need to be having leaders, and Bruno Fernandes should be the one commanding this team that now we need to calm down. Let's not commit a lot. Let's knock this ball around, because when you look at the 2 goals we're going to hit to concede, the first 2 goals, they're all because of us committing a lot and not having numbers into the defense. We needed this win. How do you lead that team? As a captain, Erik ten Hag has been vocal about how Bruno Fernandes is really good at coaching and he can coach his fellow players on the field of play. Have you seen any coaching on that field of play? Have you seen it? Sorry about that. I haven't seen anything. And I've started it on that point of the so-called person who calls himself a leader at the club of Manchester United, and he comes in through and puts in what we call bad performances, like as one had to put in today. And this is where I get back to Erik ten Hag. Why do you take Hannibal off the field of play and leave Bruno Fernandes on the field of play? Get him off the field of play, because he was performing very badly. Because you took off Rashford, who went ahead at least adjust his game today. We saw to it that he was not selfish on the night. He got himself the first assist of the game in the 17th minute. Cross. It finds Rasmus Højlund. He heads it home to make it 1-0. Even when he reached in good shooting positions, Rashford said, I'm not going to shoot. I'm obviously going to find out my fellow players. And he did. Why did you take him off and leave Bruno Fernandes, who was doing nothing on the field of play? Bruno Fernandes doesn't deserve to start the next game. As you are calling out for Marcus Rashford, and you've seen to it that Marcus Rashford has gone ahead to put in a different shift altogether today. He was not selfish. He went in for a team play. Bruno Fernandes should be benched. He should be played off the bench, and he understands that no player deserves to start if he doesn't put in a shift. Because in this entire game, where has he been? Where has he been? We went ahead to create very many chances and we couldn't score. We go to our central defense. The first goal we concede, people are going to blame Dalot. But why do you blame Dalot when defenders like Rafael Varane and Lindelof just slowed down when Dalot was facing Wilfred Zaha? Dalot did everything in his favor, but obviously the ball was hit and no defender could come in through to obviously save us through. And this is where you miss Lisandro Martinez, because in such moments you don't believe that it happens. You don't believe it happens to a player like Lisandro Martinez. That is it. So, to my understanding, the experience of Rafael Varane, Casemiro, has not gone ahead to help us in this game. Because we've gone ahead to concede 3 easy goals. 3 easy goals. Those goals are really easy. That we need to obviously be better at doing certain things and we're not doing things right. And Rafael Varane, before we played this game, he said that we need to be defending better and we need to be scoring goals. Now, today we've gone ahead to score 2 goals and we haven't got ourselves in a position of really winning. That is it. So, who is to blame? You know, sometimes you look at the manager and say, why should I blame the manager? Because chances we are created, we couldn't kill them off. And every time you keep the game hanging like that, what happens? You're giving your opponent a chance to come in through and kill off that game in a nick of time. And that's what really happened. They had only 4 shots on target and 3 of those went in the back of the net. They are very clinical and they almost killed us at Old Trafford. This has never happened in the history of Manchester United. Losing to Galatasaray has never happened, or to any Turkish team onto Old Trafford. Even on the English soil, no Turkish team had came to the English soil and won a game. But guess what? United has gone ahead to really lose this game. And it's the very first time a team from Turkey is winning on the English soil. Very, very, very distorting. You go to Andre Onana, having made a very clumsy save that almost costed us a goal. He goes ahead to gift away the ball that results into Casemiro to get a red card. Though the penalty was missed, and Andre Onana walked away with it at that moment, but we all knew that we were really headed into a long night, because you don't do that. Andre Onana, 2 mistakes made, and one of those costed Casemiro to get a red card. Very, 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 very uncalled for. And I think we should be, as a club of Manchester United, looking through the decisions we made before the start of this season. I've been vocal on how Ten Hag got it wrong to bring in Andre Onana. Would have gone ahead to keep David De Gea at Manchester United. Then that money would have gone ahead to get Kim Min-jae or Onana Amrabat early enough. And you now see that Onana Amrabat is being played out of position. And for me, everything he's doing, I'm not blaming him. We brought in Onana Amrabat as a central midfielder to play in the double pivot alongside Casemiro. He has been denied that chance because of the injuries we are having. But again here, I go ahead and obviously attack the manager directly, because I believe we have players that can obviously play as left backs. You know, you can obviously go for Diego Dallo as a left back and Scott McTominay as a right back, or Victor Lindelof as a right back, and then you get John Evans or Harry Maguire in the central defense. That is it. It's very ashamed that we are losing games like this. Last season, we only lost 1 game at Old Trafford, and we faced very many teams that are really huge. But this time around, we've not even gone ahead to play any big team at Old Trafford, and we've gone ahead to lose against Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Galatasaray. Very, very ugly display by Manchester United, and we need to see to it that we find a solution to this. I know people will say injuries, but Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia, Sergio Reguilon, those players, only those 4 players can't really see us lose. And that is it. Because it's not that we're not creating chances. We created chances and we couldn't score. That's it. Secondly, we cannot defend. Our midfield looked porous. What good thing are we doing? Even when we start to score very many goals, we cannot really keep that back tight. We all know that the first season of Erik ten Hag was built onto a watertight central defense. We all know that. But look at how the goalkeeper we brought in through is costing us. Very, 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 very poor decisions by Andre Onana. And it shows you that he wasn't into the game. And this is how players cost managers these games. How are we going to turn around from this? I don't know. Rasmus Højlund had his day very well, scoring a brace, 1 goal really denied because he was offside, but he looked in the mode, and look at how things really never went our way. Yet we had everything to obviously take us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United. And what shows that this is Old Trafford? It's no longer a fortress it was ever since Ten Hag came in through. You get? We are losing games. We are conceding goals. What do we do better? I'm not finding it out. And the second goal we concede, it's because Eriksen is back on the field of play. Have you noticed that every time you're having Eriksen, a cut-back cross goal has been conceded by Man United? In the game of Burnley, we never conceded a goal from a cut-back cross. In the game of Crystal Palace in the midweek that we won by 3-0, we never conceded a goal from a cut-back cross. Even in the game of Crystal Palace that we lost 1-0, no cut-back cross came in through because we had another player that could run to obviously cover that position. But the second goal we concede, it's all about getting Eriksen on the field of play. And that's why I told you that Eriksen coming on the field of play is not bad, but he shouldn't be played in that position. Eriksen should be played in the central attacking midfield position, and Bruno should be rested off that pitch to be shown how that position is being played, and we keep Hannibal and Casemiro in the double pivot. That is it. And these are things that are going to cost Erik ten Hag a job. I don't want him to be sacked. I have not reached an extent of really calling in for him to be sacked. But he needs to obviously know that it's a certain thing that's not working out for the club of Manchester United. That is it. Eriksen gives us control, but let's admit he cannot play in that double pivot. Every time he plays the double pivot, this team really concedes goals. We concede goals, and we need to be doing better. For the third goal, it's a very bad decision made by Onana Amrabat. He makes that run and keeps this player on side. He keeps the player on side, and we go ahead to see to it that Mauro Icardi, are going ahead to miss out on a penalty, gets a chance to obviously make it 3 in favor of Galatasaray. And let's admit the experiment of Amrabat has failed as a left back at Manchester United. It has gone ahead to fail 100%. Let's admit. And Ten Hag should admit it. I said this, that why should I play Onana Amrabat as a left back when he's right-footed, and we have another right-footed player who can play as a left-back in the names of Dalot? Let's play Dalot on the left-back, and let's put Amrabat onto the right-back, because there, he's obviously going to add more to the team when he's even going forward. But every time you play him on the left-back, trying to play him as an inverted left-back, it has not gone ahead to work out. In the game of Crystal Palace, it costed us a game, and again, in the game of even today, it has gone ahead to cost us a goal. So the experiment has failed, and Erik ten Hag should shift. These are things they should be learning, that we're not going to be forcing people to play in a position they're not supposed to be playing in. Now Casemiro has gone ahead to get a red card. When you're playing away at Copenhagen, he's not going to be playing. So we should obviously see the manager making good changes. We lose this game because of the changes that the manager really makes. His selection, Andre Onana, Onana Amrabat, and our front line not getting in these chances and killing them off when they've gone ahead to obviously do the needful. Because it's really ridiculous that when we scored the first goal in the 17th minute, 6 minutes later we conceded. In the 67th minute, we got a second lead, and 4 minutes later we concede. This is really ugly. The same thing happened away at Bayern Munich in the Allianz Arena. Every time we tried to come close, we often opened up and gave up and really conceded goals. That is really uncalled for, and it's really very, 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 very unbecoming of the club of Manchester United to obviously put in such shifts. And obviously we are lying at the bottom of the table. Very much disappointing. These are the stats of how the game of football really went down at the club of Manchester United, that is at Old Trafford. 16 shots by Man United, 15 by Galatasaray, 5 shots on target by United, very low, and Galatasaray had 4, 56% ball possession by United. Galatasaray had 44, 460 passes completed by Man United. Galatasaray completed 380, 75% ball possession by Man United, 70% ball possession by Galatasaray, 13 fouls by Man United and 16 by Galatasaray, 1 yellow card to Manchester United and 3 to Galatasaray, 1 red card to Manchester United, and 0 red cards to Galatasaray, 4 offsides to Man United and 0 to Galatasaray, 9 corners by Man United and 3 corners to Galatasaray. And that's how everything went down. And Bayern Munich is having 6 points, Galatasaray is having 4, Copenhagen is having 1, and United is having 0 points out of the 2 games we're going to hate to play. Very bad display by Man United. It's unbecoming, and pressure is continuing to mount on Erik ten Hag. But the only biggest positive out of this is that this will show the Glazers that they need to sell the club. They need to sell the club. Let's not go over our manager that he should be sacked, because we've gone ahead to call it out on Louis van Gaal, Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the people responsible for sacking him are still at the club. That means the problem is on the top of the club of Manchester United, not to obviously do the needful that is being called in for by the manager. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. That has been my match reaction. Tell me your thoughts about Man United 2, Galatasaray 3. I sign out for now. See you later. It's going to be really a very hard night that I don't know whether I'm even going to get sleep. But all in all, this is the club we chose to support. Man United is going to hate to lose its second Champions League game in a row, moreover at Old Trafford, in a very ashaming manner. I'm out.